Bystial Runic. Now that's a combination of cards I did not expect to see win a regional. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We're going to be looking at the Santa Clara Regional here to start things off, and it would appear that Mana Diem was one of the forerunners for one of the best decks in the room. Am I surprised about that? No, not really. Even though the deck has been feeling like it's been having a little bit less success out of the YCS circuit, more and more people have been kind of turning to it at the regional level because honestly, the deck is very combo heavy. You know how our combo players are when it comes to these sorts of events. You know, they're going to power through and find ways to be able to try to beat the meta. And usually it can work out. We also have double Tearlaments out of the top cut for this too. So your two biggest decks, I mean, are two of the pretty biggest metagame contenders that you tend to really see out here at these events. Now, don't worry, we also had one Rescue Ace duelist. I mean, even though more and more people have kind of figured out how to play against Rescue Ace, it's still going to be very much relevantly sitting at most of these top cuts. I mean, consistency is the name of the game, and it tends to be very, very good at what it does. We also had one purely duelist making their way into the top cut here as well. I'm not all that surprised. I mean, the Cat deck is extremely, extremely strong. And then we have something that's referred to as a Vices Horus deck. When you get the chance to see this list here in a second, it looks just like Vices good stuff. Like, not even really picking an axis. You're just kind of toggling down the multi-dimensional axis that is the package. And then we have our Fabled Runic Bystial deck. And I mean, this kind of just proves that you can kind of do anything out here with the Bystial cards. And I'm not going to say that, you know, you can't have success, but yes, you can. Just being able to make stupid play lines, big synchros, it is actually kind of interesting. Now, let's pass on over those deck lists. Our event here was none other than Bystial Runic. And I'm still looking at this and processing this. Yes, we are playing the one copy of the Bystial Looper. The biggest things here, I mean, like, you have the Blazing Cartesias for, like, fusion fodder. But my gosh, you know, there is a world that I was going to say maybe we could hard make some of these runic cards, but not going to happen. The biggest thing here is, you know, you do want to see Grand here, and then you can go ahead and do some other plays. You can also hard make the Chaos Angel, depending on how you've opened up, thanks to the power of your Bystials. And don't forget that Bystial Looper is a tuna monster, which means, you guessed it, we're going to get to do some very, very stupid things with this. I also see that we are citing our additional copies of Saronir down here. We do have actually, we just have all of the good stuff that you could ever want to cite in for your terrible matchups. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. This list is very, very, very intriguing. Okay, what else we got back here? Hi, Mana Diem. Okay, so Mana Diem did manage to kind of wind out a second place here. I see that we are playing the triple Vices Samsara. Still hear differing opinions on this, that people are like, you know, I don't really like this card, but okay, I mean, that's perfectly understandable. Yeah, this is pretty standard as well for the gas play. Field spells all check out. We are playing the droplets for the board breaking aspect of things, and we are able to play Dimension Shifter here to make sure that we can punish the opponent as need be, because let's call it what it is. Now that every deck needs to be able to board in a shifter, depending on their terrible matchups. I mean, it depends on how strong the opponent can open up and things like that. There are some really bad matchups out there, but you know, this deck can actually make a board underneath shifter. It's just, you gotta work for it a little bit more. And I know people are like, oh, I want simplistic. No, you're not always gonna get simple. Next up here, we have our Rescue Ace duelist. Wow, they really did crawl up out of the abyss. So we're on 2 copies of Diabellstar, which is fine. We have the triple Sinful and the 1. So standard engine is check. I see that we are main decking triple super polymerization, and haha, yes, for the board breaking capabilities, we have the Giltia, the Magical Steel Knight, baby. Card is really, really strong, and we're also packing in the Draco Knight Draco quest in here as well. Man, gotta love Reinforce. I see that we are boarding in a lot of hate here. We have the entire package of hate cards that you're going to need in order to kind of round out, well, your garbage matchups. And there is The power of Book of Eclipse. I'm glad to see that somebody went back in a time machine to last format and called back up Book of Eclipse, because we definitely needed this. I like this list. This is actually pretty solid. Next up here, wow, Mana Diem really knocked out both in the top 4. Okay. We're maximizing on this still. Okay. I see for tech choices, we have some enemy controllers in here, which actually is pretty decent. Don't underestimate moving an opponent's threat over to your field, and then you just go, oh, hey, let's go ahead and link out with this. It gets pretty good. I think, honestly, Droplet might be mandatory for this deck at this point. Like, I think you are forced to play this. I can't think of any situation where I really wouldn't want to be playing this. It's not like, you don't have interchangeable cards. And of course, Siding the Dweller. Yes. You know what? If tier players are going to be tiering, then you may as well just go ahead and roll this on in, proceed to laugh at them, and they're just going to be like, oh, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and lose now. Because you just need one turn to cut them off, and you go to a pretty good position. Next up here, we have Tier Horus. Oh, boy. Triple Sarcophagus. Well, I know that I've said that 2 has been the more optimal number, but this duelist just wants to draw it. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, if you're going through all of this trouble to play this many, it's because you want to make sure that you can see the card. All right. This card does kind of do insane things for the deck, and it's kind of cool to see that we started to head towards a point that this has been a little bit more of a norm in our tier version compared to the OCG. Of course, we are playing the 1 Diviner, 1 Hoppy, triple Mcetti. We are doing the 2 Malicious with 1 Denier, actually. So, and of course, 2 copies of Scream. Well, your whole deck is just make sure you can see the Zombie Vampire to keep the mills going. And, sometimes if you can't, just kind of pick up your cards, kind of call it a day. And of course, there's the Necro Banshee. All right, what else we got back here? Hi, Purely. How are you? Have we really come so far in today's meta that Battle Fader, of all things, has become an option again? Because this is not the first time I have seen Battle Fader getting a nod back into the meta, because it has been very, very interestingly enough starting to show its head. And I was hoping that this would kind of just be a trend, or a little fad, but no, this has been interesting. So this gives Purely the chance to kind of, play the game and make sure that they don't get blown out. And that's actually amazing. All right, so don't underestimate this incredibly good card. Well, this good card too, but this, I love these. Outside of that, I mean, nothing really to talk about the main deck. Unfortunately, it is Purely, so they still good cards. What else we got going on back here? So this is our Horus Vices pile. You see what I mean? Like, just, okay, yeah, we have the Scareclaw package in here. Yeah, but like, no Scareclaw other than, this guy. So basically, this is just kind of what feels like a Horus good stuff pile, where you're going down, the combination lines of this. I mean, this is also a tuner. You can take a lot more advantage of this plus, this package and make some level 12s. But we don't have Legatee illegal just yet as of filming this. So we'll have to wait and see. I have some very interestingly high hopes for this build in the future, because this seems like it could be explored a little bit easier, at least in terms of some other good little card choices. But this idea, I like this. All right, this is where you need to start exploring some crazy things. And our last list here is actually another tier pile. Now, you do see that we've gutted out, of course, the Horus package. It's nice to see that we're back on, like, pure good stuff here. I see that we do have the Destrudo in here. Pretty used to seeing that at this point in time. Let's call it what it is. Like, as many lines of play as you can go down trying to toggle on into a Baron de Fleur. Yeah, and then, of course, the power of Spellbounds. Standard meta. Very, very standard. So, what do you guys think about everything that has been kind of creeping up here in the meta, and at least the breakdown for this event, because so many interesting little changes have started to arrive. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back in there in a day, guys. Peace. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.